All right. We are here for the beatzillapdx official news break, and this is a very interesting story. There's a sister that is basically saying that the Tyrese Nichols situation and the black police officers or former police officers now who are charged with the deletion of brother Tyree Nichols. She is blaming their actions on black culture, not policing. Nor is she even blaming it on white supremacy. But she is taking out this opportunity to call out the black community because all of a sudden the blue line and the thin blue line that always exists is now the black line. And somehow it's about black people not loving one another. It is not about police brutality and these ills and the culture of policing, but instead this vicious attack on brother Tyree Nichols is attributed to black culture. Now, we typically have a certain type of group that often likes to take shots at black culture, and they use broad terms as we and we's have to do better and we are worst enemy. Oftentimes, that usually comes with a subtle scent of Jollof. And so, with this particular situation, let's hear what she has to say. This is the video, so we're going to go through it. And then, right here, you know how we do it, the Beatzilla PDX official show. We have also made our own creative edit to this TikTok video, but we will play this first and then we will close out with the other video. So let's start it.
I ain't gonna like this one. I've only ever had issues with other black cops. I've had more issues with black cops than I've ever had with the white cop. I've had more issues with other black men and women than I ever have with the white man or a white woman.
Okay, let's stop right there. First off, she made it about police and immediately pivots to black society. Let's just hear that again. Let's go back. See, every time you start hearing these type of indictments, and I just can't help but notice this woman looks like she might be from the motherland, with a wig on, nonetheless, looking and trying to appear as a American. But I am pretty certain that this sister is not a foundational black American. I can't say for certain, but I'm just listening to the things that she'll be saying. These are things that you would never hear a foundational black American saying, but however, it is very commonplace to hear this out of a non-foundational black American who usually seems to try to fit in and then speak for our community, and that is why they get labeled tether. So let's hear what she said again.
I ain't gonna like this one. I've only ever had issues with other black cops. I've had more issues with black cops than I've ever had with the white cop. I've had more issues with other black men and women than I ever have with a white man or a white woman. This is why I don't like talking about race on my platform, because I don't think y'all really ready to hear the shit I gotta say.
So that already tells you that on her platform, she does not talk about race, but nonetheless, in less than 10 seconds, she's already taken 2 different shots at the black community. I wonder why she doesn't talk about race. Oh, you know what she did mention is that she doesn't have these problems out of white people. You know what that subtly low-key says? She doesn't see white supremacy as a problem. Let's go ahead and continue.
But with these 5 Memphis officers and Tyree Nichols,
police,
it's about time we fucking have it. Baby, the self-hate in our community is so fucking detrimental and
I'm sorry. How did we go to these 5 police officers? Baby, self-hate is so detrimental to our community. Wait. They are in the police community. They are the blue lives. That's not the black lives that matter. Those are the blue lives that matter. See, when you back the blue, that is never to be confused with black lives. Matter of fact, they're only there for direct opposition. I don't understand how we're now convoluting the two just because of the skin color of those police officers. Now, see what she's doing right here in saying she doesn't talk about race. She's already showing you a disdain, a very deep disdain for foundational Black American culture. Let's continue.
Pivotal right now, but I feel like y'all get off on giving y'all power to other people, to white people. Contrary to what the fuck y'all see on the news, they don't even have to, they got y'all doing the work for them at this point.
Wait a minute. That's not Black culture, ma'am. And that is not even the Black community as a whole. And when you say Black community, those people who are doing that help for them, what are you referring to? Because there's a conversation of reparations out here. There's conversations of an anti-Black hate crime bill. George Floyd Policing Act. These are things that were even on mainstream media. What is she talking about? If you're noticing already, she's doing a whole lot of Joloff babble. And see, what is happening here is she's basically trying to talk loud and black to cover for the culture of white supremacy, which these Black men were operating under. So unless she wants to identify that anybody becoming a policeman or woman is now siding with white supremacy, that would make more sense with her argument, but that is not what she's talking about. She's using it as a pivot to make a social indictment on Black culture. Pay attention.
White supremacists and the elites, they got y'all doing the work for them now. Because look at these 5 Memphis cops. Y'all think that shit is normal? Y'all think that shit is just a one-time occurrence? No. I've lived in the South for over 7 years, and every run-in I've ever had with the law was at the hands of a Black cop and a Black judge.
What about the time when you lived in the North? How was policing different up North? Because, see, we have all of these policing situations going on. Or maybe you're talking about back in Nigeria or back in Kenya, where your homeland is. I don't know. Maybe that's what she's referring to, because she's only lived down there for 7 years, but now she is an aficionado on foundational Black American culture. But look at what she's implementing into this culture: a bunch of tethers. These non-foundational Black Americans are not part of foundational Black American culture. But look how she's trying to convolute it while always putting white people on a certain pedestal. Now, she tried to say white supremacy as a dog whistle just to, because see, and I often have already said that. So when you have a Black person who is comparing other Black people to white supremacy, that is an op. Straight up. So this isn't about loving the Black community. And she's not even really talking or calling out policing. She's only talking about no love in the Black community. We don't love ourselves and self-hate. Now, mind you, just for all due context of this conversation, what does she have on her head? What Black woman's hair grows out of her head like that? I'm sure there might be somebody in the comments, oh, well, you never know. You know that's a wig. And that's a straight wig. Who's she trying to look like? It ain't an African-American woman. It's not a foundational Black American woman. It is not even an African woman.
They got y'all doing the work for them at this point. White supremacists and the elites, they got y'all doing the work for them now. Because look at these 5 Memphis cops. Y'all think that shit is normal? Y'all think that shit is just a one-time occurrence? No. I've lived in the South for over 7 years, and every run-in I've ever had with the law was at the hands of a black cop and a black judge. I literally have a friend right now who's in the middle of suing the Georgia State PD because something like this similar happened to him.
Hey, family. Anybody remember Rayshard Brooks? He's in Georgia. He was in Atlanta. He was at Wendy's. He got shot in the back. Y'all remember him? All of these other police incidents against black people. And she takes this one incident as a total indictment of black culture. And she said, we don't want to have this. Well, number one, you can't have this conversation because you're not us. I'm just telling you, if there's somebody that's watching this video, let me know if you think she's a foundational black American woman or not.
Beat my friend on a random Friday night at a club because he could. There is no love in the black community.
Cap.
There is no love. Look at our culture, down to the music we listen to. You rappers, you male rappers, y'all get on these tracks and y'all promote violence towards each other and you think it's gangster. No, it's giving self-hate. It's giving coon. And
okay, now she moves on. She does the typical rap music conversation. There is no black-owned media outlet to push out their music. So the market that is marketed, and this conversation has been widely known around the music industry for at least the last 20 years, that most record labels purposely do not market nor promote nor sign positive rap artists. They have a certain criteria. Some of these artists actually might have been positive before they got their deal. But this is the nature of the industry, which is not ran by any black person, especially foundational black American. We don't have control over that. They dictate the market. Just like if you were wanting to get into a McDonald's franchise, you're going to have to do things the McDonald's way, or you will not have the McDonald's emblem on your business. You won't be able to sell McDonald's. You won't have the Big Mac. You won't have their fries because you're not following suit in the organization of McDonald's. That's how music works as well, ma'am. So if an artist doesn't follow suit with what the label is looking for, they will not have a career. On top of that, that could happen after they sign their deal. So that means they can no longer sign with anybody else or be independent. They have to put that music out because that's how the business works. Not this emotional ranting against black people.
it's giving capper because y'all don't even really be doing that shit in real life. You get on these tracks talking about being in the hood, doing all this shooting, but you live in a gated community. You don't leave your house without 5 or 6 people around you. You're a capper. You don't drop bodies, you drop hobbies. Y'all get a little bit of money and the first thing y'all want to do is align y'allself with whiteness. Now you're rocking these luxury brands that don't.
Okay. You get a little money and then you want to align yourself with whiteness. Family, why do any of these immigrants come here? Do they come here to align themselves with black folks? No. Again, does her conversation or topic of discussion even sound like anything a foundational black American would be saying? Because everything she's saying is so unfounded and off and wrong. I don't know anybody who has that experience because, again, having the foundational black American experience, there's somebody around you that had to deal with the industry. There's somebody around you that has seen what's what out here. They've had to deal with the police, and it wasn't just black ones. Trust me, ma'am, somebody is foundational black Americans, and we can go through generations and generations of stories in some of our families. I know I can. No, you've experienced white supremacy and what that was, and everywhere it it controls. So it's not like it would be a big mystery or confusion. However, this sister right here is talking out of her ass, by the way, with no knowledge of foundational Black American history. That's why I'm saying she is a suspected non-FBA.
Give a fuck about you. You're too good to rock a tail fleazy. You're too good to support your own. You can't tag the girl who did your makeup from your hometown. You can't tag the small business, but all day y'all on these apps rapping Gucci, Louis, and Prada. It's such a lack mindset. You think supporting your wrong. You think by supporting me is going to take something from you. You think by giving me my flowers or somebody else their flowers is going to take something from you. The self-hate in our community is crazy and it's absurd, and it's like nobody talks about this shit. Let's start talking about it. I feel like there's enough white creators who do a really good job at educating their own. When we gonna
Did you catch that? I feel that there is a lot of white creators doing a very good job educating their own. There's the white praise again. See, the first time is low key because she's literally praising white folks while denigrating Black people. So you might miss it. But here is just a standalone white praise within all of this ranting. So Black people ain't shit. Black people ain't shit. All Black people so bad. All Black people so bad. But then you turn around and white people do a great job educating their people. Well, what are they educating their people on? Oh, it's educating them and training them up and keeping the perpetual generational situation of denigrating the Black community and oppression upon the Black community that you might be referring to, of how they teach their own so well. I just want to point this out for you, family, because some of y'all get fooled by the emotion in some of these individuals that you don't really listen to what they're saying. But no, this woman is as anti-Black as all get out. She's not worried about no love. This is for clicks and views to turn around, praise white folks, and crap on Black folks at the exact same time. And we have too much of this in our community, and we need to rid ourselves of these destructive tethers that like to bring outside agendas in, because she is all blackety black right here, while talking nothing but down on Black folk. And it's this also, don't miss the blanket Blackness thing. No, ma'am. Everybody likes to singularly identify themselves. Singularly. I mean, look at what you guys do. You'll say, I'm a Nigerian. I'm not one of you. We in Twitter spaces and online, we see this often. So you don't identify as Black unless we're talking reparations and you want to get you some. Now, notice how, again, she is not indicting white supremacy or the culture of policing at all. Not to mention, I just want to remind you that this video is supposed to be about Tyree Nichols and these police. All she's going on a full-blown rant about is Black culture, which has nothing to do with what those police officers did to Tyree Nichols. Can you see that? So she's talking about self-hate. Self-hate. So obviously she does not identify as the people that she is using when using the word our. Just peep that.
start doing that shit for ourselves? Because I feel like we are the only community that does not look out for one another. God rest Tyree Nichols' soul, but it always takes that one example. It always takes for something like this to happen for us to have the conversation. So let's do that. Let's not let this man's death be in vain. When we gonna start talking about the real tea, which is the self-hate in our community? It's crazy. It's crazy and it needs to change.
Family. What the hell is this woman talking about? What the hell is this woman talking about? You need to do what? These men are officers of the law. This is a procedural policing conversation. Laws need to be put in place to keep people in check. If there was not such a culture of anti-Black violence within policing, these Black officers could not have gone away with what they've done. Not that they did, but they would already have incentive not to do that. Why were they comfortable for that? Oh, I'll tell you. The Black woman police chief, who has also been responsible for other such type tactical groups. So when you know how to pick a psychopath, a sociopath, and put him in the streets of Black folks and say, go over police those Black folks, that's not Black culture, ma'am. That's policing culture. That's steeped in white supremacy because we, of course, know that policing stems from and has roots from slave catching. So it's always been anti-Black. But I would assume that a foundational Black American would know that. That's why I'm looking at this woman talking out of her ass as a Joloff babbling individual, a Joloff babbling tether. That's all I see here. So what I did here is we went ahead and had to put a little remix on this video so we can watch this the right way, because some people might look at this video and be like, well, I don't know if she got a point or not. No, she doesn't. And so, needless to say, this video that I'm about to play, which is, of course, a remixed version of the video you just saw, I think this version gives you a lot more context of the truth of the matter versus what she's saying. You understand what I'm saying? So without further ado, here is our rendition of this conversation.
I ain't gonna like this one. I've only ever had issues with other Black cops. I've had more issues with Black cops than I've ever had with the white cop. I've had more issues with other Black men and women than I ever have with a white man or a white woman. This is why I don't like talking about race on my platform, because I don't think y'all really ready to hear the shit I gotta say. But with these 5 Memphis officers and Tyree Nichols, it's about time we fucking have it. Baby, the self-hate in our community is so fucking detrimental and pivotal right now. But I feel like y'all get off on giving y'all power to other people, to white people. Contrary to what the fuck y'all see on the news, they don't even have to, they got y'all doing the work for them at this point. White supremacists and the elites, they got y'all doing the work for them now. Because look at these 5 Memphis cops. Y'all think that shit is normal? Y'all think that shit is just a one-time occurrence? No. I've lived in the South for over 7 years, and every run-in I've ever had with the law was at the hands of a Black cop and a Black judge. I literally have a friend right now who's in the middle of suing the Georgia State PD because something like this similar happened to him. Beat my friend on a random Friday night at a club because he could. There is no love in the Black community. There is no love. Look at our culture, down to the music we listen to. You rappers, you male rappers, y'all get on these tracks and y'all promote violence towards each other and you think it's gangster. No.
Where's your family from?
It's giving self-hate, it's giving coon, and it's giving capper, because y'all don't even really be doing that shit in real life. You get on these tracks talking about being in the hood, doing all this shooting, but you live in a gated community. You don't leave your house without 5 or 6 people around you.
Where's your family from?
You're a capper. You don't drop bodies, you drop hobbies.
Where's your family from?
Y'all get a little bit of money and the first thing y'all want to do is align yourself with whiteness. Now you're rocking these luxury brands that don't give a fuck about you. You're too good to rock a tail fleazy. You're too good to support your own. You can't tag the girl who did your makeup from your hometown. You can't tag the small business, but all day y'all on these apps rapping Gucci, Louis, and Prada. It's such a lack mindset. You think supporting your wrong. You think by supporting me is going to take something from you. You think by giving me my flowers or somebody else their flowers is going to take something from you. The self-hate in our community is crazy, and it's absurd, and it's like nobody talks about this shit. Let's start talking about it. I feel like there's enough white creators who do a really good job at educating their own. When we gonna start doing that shit for ourselves? Because I feel like we are the only community that does not look out for one another. God rest Tyree Nichols' soul, but it always takes that one example. It always takes for something like this to happen for us to have the conversation. So let's do that. Let's not let this man's death be in vain. When we gonna start talking about the real tea?
It was accepted not as a joke, but because the people who sat there agreed with my argument that you would have given black women rights that white women never had.
Just the self-hate in our community, it's crazy. It's crazy and it needs to change.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
Yes, when there is something deep inside the heart. And she definitely revealed what her issue was. And it was Black society. It was not policing. It's definitely not that she has an issue. All you heard was praising white folks. White folks ain't never done me wrong. I mean, hell. And I look at a whole lot of white creators that do great jobs teaching their own. I mean, why don't we do it? Ma'am, you have had thousands of Black educators come across these shores. I don't know what you're talking about. Here's the problem. You're not looking for Black folks. You're looking to come up off of Black folks. Family, let me explain something to you. You have to really, really, truly understand what grifting looks like. Grifting doesn't mean grifting just because you don't like what somebody's success is. This here is grifting. This woman has nothing to do with our community other than exploitation of it. So she gets to come over here to this country. She gets to denigrate Black people, praise white folks, and then blend in trying to get up on our issues. That is classic textbook definition of a tether. Jeez, come on now. So, family, let me know what y'all think about this particular story. I found it to be really ignorant and off-putting, because I don't really know what she was trying to get to except for praising Zaddy. And grandmother Gertrude's and Karen's and Becky's, because she's never had any problem with them. I mean, all of these Karen videos we have out here, all of these crazy lying Becky's, no, she's never seen. Oh, and all the, never mind Derek Chauvin and all of these white police officers who have, harmed Black folks time and time and time again. Oh, no. That's not what we're talking about. See, we need to now have this conversation because there's Black officers, and this whole policing issue is all about Black folks not loving one another. Family, learn how to pick ops out the crowd. Says the woman wearing a hat on top of another hat called a wig. That is not any kind of style of Black women whatsoever, but we hate ourselves. She has all the pharmacy on her face. She has all of CVS painted on her face. So we have more sorcery there. I mean, it is what it is. And no slight to any women who wear makeup, but I'm just saying, does she really look like this? Because we done seen now some of them videos. You see how they begin, then you see how they end. Is this one of those situations? But now she's over here talking for us. You think this woman don't want a white man? I'm just asking. You think this woman don't want her a white man? She want her a zaddy. I ain't never doing something like this. Is a dog whistle to these these certain suspected supremacists that like slumming. So she's kind of putting herself out. This is almost like an audition. But anyway, like I said, like and share this video. Go follow me on Instagram and Twitter at beatzillapdx. And make sure you hit the notification bell so you can be notified anytime a broadcast goes live or a video is uploaded. So with that being said, until next time, family. Oh, by the way, if you want to support this channel, you like the content here, you could definitely do so by way of Cash App and PayPal, which will be in the description. And then, of course, there's Super Chat and there's Super Thanks. Keep in mind that Google and YouTube keep a large chunk of the Super Chats. So, if you really want to help these platforms thrive, hit those Cash Apps, family. Hit those Cash Apps. I know you like seeing your stuff on the screen. I can totally appreciate that. But it definitely, just to put it in your mind, you're giving YouTube more money than you're giving the content creator that you're supporting. So just keep that in mind. With that being said, family, stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first. Shalom, y'all.